Welcome back to the Den of Nerds. I am Josh. We need to talk about this new Doomsday Tease.
Oh my God!
This image was posted on social media by the Russo Bros, and it has the whole internet talking. Everybody's like, what is this? Well, this probably won't surprise you, but I think I figured it out. And in this video, I'm going to give you definitive proof that I know exactly what the Russo Brothers are trying to tease here. And on the surface level, it seems simple, but it's way crazier than you think. Trust me. Josh, it's just a blurry image of a chalkboard. There's no way you can stretch out a 10-minute video. Shut your mouth. I'm a fucking professional over here. All right, so let's get into this. Now, look, the most obvious thing here is that this is a chalkboard. I know, it's impressive. I know, that's why you come here. But it's not just any chalkboard. It's obviously the chalkboard that Reed Richards had in the Fantastic Four movie. But it's not just that either, obviously. And I know what this is, man. It's actually pretty freaking crazy. But let's go back to the actual Fantastic Four film. You will recall that upon this chalkboard, Reed Richards had all sorts of different problems and things and sketches and designs and formulas. And it seemed like he was trying to solve a lot on that various chalkboard. But one of the designs on that chalkboard from the very first trailer that fans noted is this right here, which looks to be some kind of bridge device. And ultimately, it was a bridge device. It was the designs for the bridge teleporter, which was created in the Fantastic Four film. But in the comic books, the bridge is something else entirely. The bridge comes from the Jonathan Hickman Fantastic Four run, and it is a teleporter, or really a portal, that allows Reed Richards to go into other realities. Now hold that thought for just a second here. You see, we know that by the time the Fantastic Four meet up with the 616 heroes like Sam Wilson's team and the Thunderbolts, there will be a massive time jump from the end of the Fantastic Four film.
What?
And we know this for several reasons. Number one, there was an image that Pedro Pascal himself shared from the set, which had some book in it, but behind the book, you could see that the suit, the Fantastic Four suit, like the actual Reed Richards suit that he's freaking wearing, yeah, it's been updated, and it looks to be more like the modern day Marvel costumes that you would expect in the 616 MCU. Reason number two, we know there's going to be a time jump is because Daniel RPK said there's going to be a time jump, and that the character of Franklin Richards will be aged up. In the Fantastic Four movie, there's a combination of a newborn child and a 4-year-old boy. Remember, because it's 4 years after the beginning of the film. But apparently, the call sheet for the Franklin Richards character in Avengers Doomsday is for a 13 to 14-year-old, meaning the character will be aged up. It is also worth remembering, if you look at the concept art for Secret Wars, and I know we're not 100% sure if this is real or not, but that looks like Franklin Richards, and that looks like a young man Franklin Richards. That does not look like a 4-year-old to me. And I think another thing that confirms this is the Fantastic Four ship from the Thunderbolts post-credit scene. Technically speaking, these are the same design of ships, but clearly the one in the Thunderbolts movie is more modern. It has been updated. And so for all of those different reasons, I believe there's going to be a time jump between the end of the Fantastic Four film and the beginning of the Avengers Doomsday movie. And I think this includes a time jump from even the post-credit scene when we see Victor confront the Fantastic Four and Sue and Franklin. Now, let's stop for a second and linger on this post-credit scene, because when this movie first came out, I actually said in all my videos and all my streams around that time that I believed we were going to see a time jump into Doomsday for a lot of the reasons I just mentioned to you in this video. But I also speculated back then that Dr. Doom coming in the post-credit scene but being absent from the film could be explained with Victor being aware of what's going on with the multiverse. Because although it's not obvious in the Fantastic Four movie, the multiverse is collapsing as this film is going on. Loki is holding everything together, but it is all still inevitably going to collapse. And there's also this thing that in the Secret Wars books, Dr. Doom takes the power of Galactus. Like in the very first Secret Wars comic, he takes the power of Galactus before taking the power of the Beyonders. And as far as I understand it, Galactus's ship is just there. Like, they teleported Galactus away, but Galactus's ship is just there above Earth. So what I think is going on is Dr. Doom shows back up to Franklin and to Reed Richards. This is 4 years after the events of the Fantastic Four film. And during that entire time period, Victor Von Doom is out there in the multiverse trying to figure out what's going on with the incursions, trying to understand everything, and probably discovering the truth about the multiverse that leads Doom to seeking out the aid of Reed Richards. And I believe what's going to happen here is we're going to see Reed Richards and Dr. Doom work together to adjust what the bridge is so that it can help them traverse in between universes. And I think they'll probably use some of Galactus's tech to make the bridge and maybe some of their other technology even more powerful. But ultimately, that is what I think is going down. So from the end post-credit scene of the Fantastic Four movie, Dr. Doom shows up. He tells Reed Richards about what is happening. He knows Franklin's really, really powerful. But at this point, I don't think he's just going to like take Franklin. Partially because the rumors indicate that Victor Von Doom is going to be with the Fantastic Four when he shows up on 616. That's likely the Thunderbolts post-credit scene. And then he's going to sort of pretend to be Tony Stark, which is a whole nother thing. I'll explain that in other videos. But he's going to get the Avengers to help him and go into the X-Men universe to try to stop the incursion between those two universes. Now, there's a whole alternate motivation here. Like, really what Victor's trying to do is get the people that caused the incursions, get to Steve Rogers, and ultimately get to where Loki is at. But Victor Von Doom, RDJ's Dr. Doom, is going to show up to 616 with the Fantastic Four. And I just don't see how he does that if he just steals Franklin and bails. So instead, again, what I think is going to happen is they're going to work together. And in fact, this is probably what this freaking chalkboard thing that the Russos are teasing here, that's probably what it indicates. This is a tease of Victor Von Doom and Reed Richards working together to create the bridge, possibly to create ships like the Ark from the Hickman stuff that can survive the end of the collapse of the multiverse and stuff like that. And I mean, technically, we already know that they have interdimensional travels because the AI in the Avengers Tower in the Thunderbolts post-credit scene tells Yelena that this is an interdimensional ship that has entered Earth's orbit. So obviously it entered through some kind of dimensional portal. And I think it'll just be the case that these two arch enemies had to work together on that individual universe, on that 828 universe, in order to survive and have the possibility of not losing their entire world. And in that way, we're going to get sort of a Science Bros thing, but with Dr. Doom and Richards. And I think this will actually be great, man, because it'll actually like add some of that character stuff that we were missing because of the Fantastic Four movie not really having Victor. Again, I think he was away studying the multiverse. I've said this before, but what other explanation is there really for Victor Von Doom not being present during the Fantastic Four movie, right? We see the Latvian flags, and it is kind of interesting that the Latvian flags might look like they did before Victor takes over the country of Latveria, right? But let's just assume that it's regular Doctor Doom, like the Doctor Doom we know from the comics, and he had this relationship with Reed, just like a lot of the other villains on this Fantastic Four universe. Well, if that's the case and Victor ends up becoming Dr. Doom and he's really equipped with magic and technology, then there's no way he's just going to allow Earth to be destroyed by Galactus. Like, if all else failed, Doom would have had some kind of plan, would have been involved in stopping Galactus from destroying Earth. The only explanation really for Victor Von Doom not being present in the Fantastic Four film is that he's doing something more important. What could possibly be more important? Well, all the other crazy stuff that's going on in the multiverse, mostly the incursions and the inevitable collapse of everything. But if we get a Science Bros thing where Victor Von Doom and Reed Richards have to work together, and they do this to get this technology to try to stop all of the multiverse collapsing, it's a great way to like build up some character stuff between those two characters. And then ultimately, yes, it's going to turn into craziness with Secret Wars and God Emperor Doom. But I believe Reed Richards will be one of the people that survive. And he's probably going to be one of the key people that actually defeats Doctor Doom, just like in the Secret Wars comic book, the Hickman one, the newest one. So there you freaking have it. My theory, my idea on what is going on here with the chalkboard and the tease from the Russo brothers. I have no idea what it actually reads. Like, I can't understand any of that stuff, but it's obviously the chalkboard. I think it's obvious that it's Reed Richards, but I think the reason it's blurred and the reason it's like Doomsday is coming is, again, because of all the stuff I mentioned in this video. I really believe there's going to be a time jump and Victor is going to be working with Reed. I think it's going to be fantastic for the character development, and it's going to be awesome for the entire film and the whole friggin' thing as we get into Secret Wars. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.